Okay, so I'm Grasswalker. I'm failing all the citizenship tests. We're doing our best. It's not working out. Let's do quiz 3, having failed quiz 1 with 16 of 24 and quiz 2 with 13 of 24. Let's hope this one's better. What is the capital city of Northern Ireland? It's Dublin. It's an uncertain Dublin. I hovered over Belfast for like 15 seconds as well. I could feel it. Dublin, South Island. Belfast is North Island. Oh, fuck, man. I just want to turn the recording off, start again, and be like, yes, it's Belfast. It wouldn't be legitimate, though. What name is given to the day where people play jokes on each other until midday? It's April's Fool's Day. For some reason, April 1st, everybody just has a bit of banter. This is actually a really good question, because you wouldn't know this unless you grew up here. It's a very stupid thing, but we all do it. This is a good question for this Life in the UK test. Who is the fastest person to have sailed around the world single-handed? What? Does that mean he did it by himself, or he only has one hand? Also, there's 2 answers here that are women, so could be anybody. Bradley Wiggins. I know that name, but I don't... Just because I recognise a name doesn't mean they did something. It's just the only name in that list I've ever heard of. When did the First World War end? I think it's the 11th. But I don't know if it was November or December. I'm trying to think back too, because I would remember this if I'd paid more attention when my schools had the minute of silence and everyone clasps their hands like this and goes, oh. When did we do that? I think we did it in November. Yeah, okay. So, that's not a bad question for this, because I'm judging whether these are good or bad questions based on whether or not I can figure them out from my life having been in the UK. What are Welsh cakes made of? Dunno, never had them. I doubt Yorkshire puddings are in Welsh cake. I don't know what suet is, but onion and oatmeal wouldn't make a very nice cake, and Welsh people bake very well. Bacon, egg, sausage, black pudding, and potato bread. That's like a breakfast roll at a dingy diner. Potato, veg, York pud. That's a roast dinner minus the roast. The only thing that would make a cake here is flour, dried fruit, and spice. Where is the London Eye situated? Why can't I click London? So is the London Eye on the Thames or the Lee? I don't know. Which bank is it? I don't know. We're going to go North Bank of Thames. What's the relationship between the monarch and the government? So, without looking at what they've written, the relationship between the monarch and the government, I think, is that the monarch allows the government to rule in exchange for borrowing all of the land that they seized in wars, and they get to keep their pretty castle, and they get to keep a little allowance to live on, and in exchange we don't kick up a fuss about all the land they seized in the war that they claim they own, but is it really theirs? So we've got advise and approve, advise, encourage and approve, advise, warn and encourage, approve. I think it's just advise, warn and encourage. They have no genuine authority, but they can be like, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Cool, got it. The UK is a constitutional monarchy. Do we have a constitution? I know America goes on and on about their constitution. I'm gonna go true. I just got, we're a monarchy, we probably have a constitution, we just don't talk about it. What do you need to apply to become a permanent resident of this or citizen of the UK? You'd need to be able to speak and read English, and you'd need to understand life in the UK. That's why I'm doing this quiz. So we sussed that one out just from the question itself. That's a bad question. Nothing about being in the UK has helped me learn that question. It's just obvious from looking at the question. It's a bad question. What British scientist was awarded a Nobel Prize for discovering the structure of the DNA molecule? Alan Turing, Frank Whittle, Christopher Cockrell, Francis Crick. I don't know. I have no idea. I feel like discovering DNA is something big enough that you'd get a sir from it. It's gonna go good old Frank. Unfortunate. I mean, it's not unfortunate, I'm just uneducated. Who established the Church of England? That was Henry VIII. What he did was he had a bunch of wives, one after the other, and he was killing them and divorcing them and killing them and divorcing them, and they were dying of natural causes too. And it was a complete disaster because back in the olden days, you weren't supposed to have multiple wives or divorce or do anything like that. So Henry VIII, being the man-child that he was, this big fat oaf of a creature, kept demanding that the Pope approved, put the green stamp on his divorces. Pope was like, no bueno, we don't do that. And Henry was like, alright, fuck off then, we'll make our own church. So, just a bit of GCSE history knowledge that I'll take a chance to talk about something I have remote knowledge of when I get it. But also, if you notice, I'll talk and I'll talk and I'll talk, and then I'll click it and see how wrong I was, because I'm willing to spout nonsense and then it be wrong and me go, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. When does Lent take place? Stop fucking asking me about Lent. I don't even know what Lent is, let alone what... Half of these questions are about Lent. Is it before Easter? Is it after Easter? I don't even remember what I clicked last time Lent came up. I just hoped it never would again. I'm going to put that it's after Easter. Okay, it's before Easter. Christians take time to reflect and prepare for Easter. Easter is not a Christian holiday, it's a pagan holiday that you stole. Hideous. Which of the following national galleries is not located in London? Alright, the National Museum is in London. The National Gallery is in London. So Tate Britain or Tate Modern? Oh, what? National Museum's in Cardiff, Wales? What did I go to when I went to London? I thought I went to the National Museum. I'm actually terrified. I have a very distinct memory of going to what I thought was the National Museum as a child on a school trip in London. We definitely didn't go to Wales. Where did I go? How much can you be fined if you watch TV but do not have a TV license? Honestly, this is just propaganda for the TV license man who rudely knocks on your door and demands money and to look around your house. If they ever do that, tell them to clear off and come back with a warrant from a real authority that matters. Nobody cares about the TV license. Nobody wants a TV. People just watch Netflix and YouTube nowadays. Just fuck off. I mean, it's got to be really high, right? Because they always threaten you over and over. I have so many rude letters from these absolute jevons. Like, oh, watching TV without a TV license, are we? We've detected activity in your aerial from a van that scans... Our house doesn't have an aerial. They're just lying. Absolute scum of the earth. How old is the clock at the Houses of Parliament in London known as Big Ben? Pretty old. Not that old. Depending on how old this quiz... No, there's no way this quiz is 100 years old. Unfortunate. I mean, it's not unfortunate, I just don't know what I'm talking about. Members of the European Parliament, MEPs, are elected on the basis of... I mean... It's all first past the post, right, in England? It's hideous, because that's a garbage system that does not lead to healthy outcomes. Oh, okay. So we actually have a genuine system for that. Cool. Good to know. Didn't know it. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, good old NATO, is a group of European and North American countries that were created with two purposes: to send strongly worded letters to bioterrorists and to siphon funds from the taxpayers. Help each other if they came under attack. I think that's one. Maintain peace between members. I think that's the other. I don't think it's got anything to do with human rights, and I don't think it's definitely nothing to do with free trade. I think that's it. I think those are the two, yeah, okay. I was doubting myself because I'm quite bad. Small claims procedure is used in England and Wales for minor disputes. How small is small? I think it's 5. 10. Oh, okay. Bit harsh. So it was 5, but recently became 10. Due to the difference in data, it's unlikely to come up. Harsh. What name is given to the period in the 18th century when new ideas about politics, philosophy, and science were developed? There was no science happening in the Industrial Revolution. It was entirely child slavery. I think it'd be the Enlightenment. That feels like what you'd call that. It just makes sense. What's the meaning of Magna Carta? Ooh. See, I know all about the Magna Carta, and I know what's in it, and I know why they made it, and I even know where it is. At the minute, it's in Lincoln Cathedral. Went to go see it. It was quite nice. It was a big old book. They didn't let you flick through it, though. Protected the page integrity is what the man in the suit said. Was the reason I couldn't flick through it and see if my dad was in that book. The meaning, Magna Carta. I think it's just the big charter, or the Great Charter. Yeah, we wouldn't just call something big, we'd call it great. We're not Big Britain. It's Great Britain. War of the Roses, I've aforementioned in a couple of these videos. Don't know anything about it, though. Clearly it was in the 1400s. As to when, I'll guess. Unfortunate. Which of the following is the responsibility of the Chancellor of the Exchequer? He mostly just shouts, right? I think it's economy? Yeah, I mean the Exchequer would be person in charge of finances, so it being the economy fits. In which British university did Isaac Newton study? I'm not sure. I feel like it's Cambridge. I feel like they never shut up about it. Yeah. The UK is not a full member of the European Union. This question is a solid 4 years outdated. Because it doesn't use the euro currency. I'm pretty sure we're not a full member of the European Union due to many years of Rupert Murdoch's propaganda belittling the UK and some Russian intelligence interference in an advisory, like, just vote to it. We weren't voting as to whether or not we wanted to stay or leave. We were voting as to whether or not we felt like we wanted to stay or leave, and they did one vote and it was very close, and they got the result they wanted, and then that was it. There was no do-overs. Even though all the people who voted for it would be dead because they were old. I'm going to go false. We, at the time, were a genuine member, but we just didn't have... That was one of our special agreements. We had a whole bunch of lovely special agreements that we threw in the bin. 14. Took me 14 minutes to get 14 questions right. It's not a good showing. These are not good results. If I was doing my GCSEs, this would be a C, which would be a pass, but I just don't know anything about my own place. I feel like a lot of these questions are garbage. Even some that I was getting right, like, what do you need to come live in the UK, speak English, pass the life in the UK test? I got it right, but it wasn't a good question. It was a garbage question. But thank you guys for joining me. I might pass one of these just from sheer luck alone. But I'll see you in the next video.